Hi guys, and welcome back. In this video we're going to talk a little bit about some golf science and how you put pressure into the ground. This is probably something that you guys have been heard around the internet, a lot of people talking about this, and let's explain how this really equates to power. Whenever we move, we have to have something to move against. So one of Newton's laws is for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if we swing a golf club, we have to be bracing against the ground, putting pressure in the ground to rotate our body back and then to rotate our body through. And it's really easy to see. I have this little board here. It's from the Science Source, which does like little science products. And it's basically just like a lazy Susan like you'd have on the middle of your table that just spins around. But if I stand on this, it'll easily spin back and forth. So it's really easy for me to move around on this. And whenever I take my backswing and I try to go in this direction, watch what happens with my feet. So I'm not trying to do this at all. I'm trying to stay as still with my feet as I can. So it rotates me open. And then when I try to swing that way, it's going to rotate me closed. So see if I can straighten out here again. So if I go back and through, I really can't generate any club head speed because I don't have anything to brace against. As soon as I tried to go this way, my feet had nothing to push against and they slid out from under me that way. As soon as I tried to swing down, my feet slid out from under me that direction. So it shows, it's very difficult to get any kind of swing speed, to get any kind of power unless we're bracing against something. It really is impossible to do that. So a couple things that you may have seen out there. We may have seen Tiger Woods coach, Chris Como. He's got a video of him jumping off a diving board trying to swing a golf club. That's all he's trying to show is the same thing that I just did there. And there's another great illustration from another PhD scientist in golf, Dr. Kwan. On his Facebook page, he's got a great illustration of Jamie Sadlowski. So if we take a look at this up on our screen, what you'll notice is these arrows that are coming out of his feet, those are the pressure that he's putting into the ground, or the pressure that the ground, more scientifically, is putting back up into him. So whenever he rotates to the backswing, we'll notice how that arrow goes up out of his right foot. Now that arrow, that's the direction he's pushing in this direction, and that's pushing his hips open to allow him to rotate. Now it's not just Jamie Sadlowski, he's just doing it a lot because he has a lot of power, but every golfer that wants to rotate in the backswing, get a good full power turn like we talked about in the system, has to put some pressure down in the ground going this way. And then as he switches directions in the downswing, you're gonna notice that the arrow goes this way, coming back up in this direction. That allows him to rotate open and swing on through to a good full finish. Same thing for everybody. If you want to create power in the swing, in the backswing, we got to push with our right foot. In the downswing, we got to switch over and push with our left foot. So I got a great drill for you today. Now that we understand this, we have to have something to brace against to create power in the golf swing, and we also see how this should be happening. I got an awesome drill to help you guys to visualize this. So let's set up with a golf ball. You can do the first part of this drill just right from the comfort of your living room. And let's imagine that this golf ball is 12 o'clock. So from my perspective looking down, this is 12 o'clock. 6 o'clock would be directly behind me. 3 o'clock would be here. And then 9 o'clock would be over there. So in my backswing, in order to rotate my hips this direction, to load up, to get a good full turn with my shoulders, I'm gonna feel like I'm pushing my foot out toward 130, out in that direction. As I push down into the ground, that's gonna rotate my hips, and now that's gonna help me to get that good full turn all the way to the top. Now as I shift to the left, now I'm gonna go to my left foot a little bit. I don't wanna slide to the left. I just wanna have a little shift to the left, and then I'm gonna push with my left foot out toward 1030. So I'm pushing down and out that direction, and that's gonna allow me to rotate open all the way coming through the shot to get some power coming through that way. So in your backswing, let's go ahead and do about 40, 50 reps. Work on pushing toward 130, down and out to rotate this way. In the downswing, we're gonna push toward 1030, down and out to rotate us open as we're coming on through. And as we put both of those together, we're gonna have a good full turn going back and through. So on average, PGA Tour players are rotating at least 110 degrees with their shoulders going back. And as they come on through, their shoulders are actually going to be facing down into the left rough. So let's go ahead, now that we've broken it down in some slow motion drills, working on the pressure with our feet, let's make it into a nice full golf swing. Now, one side note here, a lot of people out there now are teaching a narrow stance. They want the stance to be nice and narrow like this, and they say that it helps you to stay centered, helps you to keep your balance a little bit better. But I'm gonna have a real tough time putting pressure into the ground, getting power, if I have a narrow stance. I always like to see a little bit wider of a stance. It is a little bit up to personal preference how wide you go, but I would much rather see a stance that's a little too wide than a little bit too narrow, because now I'm not going to be able to put pressure into the ground. If you take a look at Tiger Woods from back in 2000, nice wide driver stance, good powerful base, and then he started to narrow it up a little bit more and a little bit more. And I don't think that was, this is me guessing, but I don't think that was probably him, you know, thinking of this up on his own. He was probably taught to narrow that up, and we saw his, you know, it could be anything, but his driver speed did go down in that period of time. I venture to say that with Chris Como now that you're going to start to see a wider stance than what he was doing from back in 2010-ish, just right around in that area. So let's try this out now. We've got the practice swings putting pressure in the ground. We've done the full free-flowing swings, rotating all the way back and rotating through. Now let's hit a couple shots, and I just want to feel right foot on the way back, left foot on the way through, and as I finish, I'm going to have my right shoulder facing all the way down the target. Now for those of you that are less flexible, you don't have to go all the way around, but just go until you feel comfortable in your full range of motion. There we go, guys. Nice fluid swing, good turn back, good turn through. You're going to get a lot of power. Good luck to you guys. All right, guys, I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. If you did, I got an even better bonus for you. If we want to get distance in the golf swing, we've got to get a lot of lag, and then we've got to let that lag go. Well, I've got my #1 lag video. I'm going to play a preview of that here in a second. If you're on a desktop device, go ahead and click the link that pops up on your screen. If you're on a phone or a tablet, click the iCard that's somewhere on your screen right now. That's going to take you to where you can get instant access to that full video. Plus, you're going to get 5 videos from our Top Speed Golf system. Never going to cost you a dime. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Click that thumbs up button. That really helps us out. And also remember to subscribe. That way you'll see our newest videos. See you guys in the lag video. Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm Clay Ballard, and in today's video we're going to talk about one of the absolute worst drills for creating lag. It's a very common drill that I see. And in this drill, what we're going to do is we're going to set the wrist very early to create an angle of lag, and then we're going to try to hold this throughout the swing. It's one of the worst things that you can do to build lag. I'm going to talk about the science behind why this is the case, and I'm also going to give you a great drill to help you improve your lag, all in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. If I do it this way versus holding that position. Exact same thing happens when we're building the lag in the golf swing. So what we want to do is throughout the swing, I want to have a very low and wide takeaway. So I'm not going to set my wrist early at all. If you look at a lot of the top players, you look at Adam Scott, very wide takeaway, not very much wrist set at all. You look at Rory McIlroy, look at Tiger Woods. All these players are using a wide takeaway and not getting very much wrist set, so that later in the swing, as we start down, we can increase this wrist set, and we're really only going to max out this angle of lag for a split second in the downswing. Okay, so a 3-step drill here. Now, as we get started with this, I want to remind you that the fulcrum in this golf club for getting a massive amount of lag is right at the end of the golf club. This is where I want my hinge point to be.